Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So, gotcha. I just saw that and I was like, boy, I'm not sure I'd want my client saying that, but I wasn't sure. So, but
I don't even care anymore. It is they are my clients. It's my son and my daughter-in-law. They want to buy this land. So
uh,
that's why she's desperate.
gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. I
Okay.
know. My daughter told me, "Do you know how desperate she looks on there?" I'm like, "Do you know I can't do a darn thing about it?" So,
I understand. I understand.
Exactly
I
right.
mean,
mhm.
my kids always listen to me, so I can't relate, so.
Perfect.
It's because they know more than us, right?
Of
They're so
course.
smart.
Of course.
That wears
Well, good
off
morning.
eventually, doesn't it?
I, I don't know. My
Mhm.
oldest is just getting back in town, so we'll be seeing her more. So, but so good morning, everyone. I'm sure we'll have more join us. I've got a big dog right here beside me who's stuck. Rocky, move or something. So, hope you guys are having a good morning so far. It's good to see a few people on here. First up, does anyone have anything fun or exciting to share that's going on this week? Besides a bunch of eggs at Ryan's house?
There's a bunch.
You will find getting rid of them is a job. Once you have a bunch, it becomes a part-time job. So just FYI.
Paul, I agree with you. However, I am in luck because I am in the business of sales, and I'm telling you what, it's easier to sell eggs than it is houses. Not hard at all. Secret. Every Thursday night we play in a pool league, and I built up a clientele list as we started getting more eggs, and so I've got my players out there, and so I'll show up with 10 dozen, and I'll have them knocked out in about 10 or 12 minutes. Pick up
Gotcha.
bucks and that pays for the feed and a little bit of maintenance on the coop too now. So yeah, but
Cool.
you when you're getting 900 eggs a month, that's a lot of eggs to sell
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
$5 a dozen. You got to make
Yeah.
some deals.
It's a lot of chicken food too. So, but,
Yeah.
so, well, good morning, everyone. Anyone else have anything fun going on or coming up this week? Got a nice weekend coming up, it looks like.
I want to give a quick shout out to Stacy real quick because her husband Doug does smoking competitions, and I kind of geeked out with him a little bit. And so we've got one this weekend. I'll be doing some networking, obviously, out there in Holden. Big city of Holden is hosting a barbecue competition this weekend. So I entered into the first one. I'm a backyard barbecue smoker guy, and Doug has helped me out with some tips and tricks. This guy is scientific, but he donated a bunch of extra chicken because he actually only picks out a few pieces that he likes to use because he weighs everything out and it has to look exactly the same for him to turn it in to score super high. So anyway, thank you, Stacy, for jumping in and helping me out with that and
You're
getting it.
welcome.
Hopefully that'll be enough to get me over the top.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Thank you.
Cool. So, well, good morning, everyone. It's a pretty nice day. I'm actually out in my garage. Josh and I, mainly me, has created a video area out here, and he's on another Zoom call because we have a mastermind, a YouTube mastermind that meets at the same time. So we kind of go back and forth. Um, but I hope everyone's doing well. I was curious. Does anyone have any questions or concerns that the group could maybe help with before I throw out a topic or two?
Hey, Paul,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
just something I wanted to share because it came up yesterday. We went to contract on one of our acreages, and I didn't really think much about it. They were on like day 7 or 8 and had set up the inspections and all that. So they do the inspections. Looks like we have a septic issue. Obviously that's a big one. I'll probably be talking to Rustlin soon on that. The contract they presented to us had a 7-day inspection period.
Oh,
So
wow.
technically they're out of their inspection period. Their people have a large earnest money, and they're likely going to propose for us to put in a $20,000, $30,000 septic system. So you talk about testing your metal there. Technically, that agent has a client that really has no right to ask for anything. Now, if we don't do it, they probably will walk and say, sue me to keep my earnest money. So I'm not sure that that's the right thing to do, but you can imagine the position they put their client in, especially with a big ticket item like that. Any thoughts? Anybody ever had that happen?
Uh,
Just me. Okay.
I've got one with a roof that needs to be replaced, and the sellers, it was a flip, and the sellers agreed to replace the roof because it's 12, 13 years old, has significant hail damage, but they've only owned the house 3 months, so they really can't do much of a claim with it. So, but they
Key
agreed.
is the inspection period. So if we write in a quick inspection period because of the competitive market, we need to make sure we're extending the inspection period if we're representing the buyer, right?
And that was my point is, we've, as buyers agents, we've got to understand these inspection periods and how critical they are. And this agent didn't even realize they were out of it. And honestly, most of them are 10 days. And I had kind of forgot that this was a 7-dayer. Didn't really occur to me. And then I kind of looked back and I'm like, what day are we on, 9 or 10? And I'm like, well, we're on 9. Oh, we had a 7-day window. So, those are the kind of things that, man, those are mistakes that can get you in a bad position with your client too. And I would even say possibly a legally exposed position.
Well,
Question to you, Lonnie, is how did you even disclose this fact to your sellers?
Which fact is that? I'm sorry.
That they're out of the inspection period? I guess you
Yeah,
haven't received the
we
request.
we just figured this all out here in the last hour.
Okay. So
I know.
So ultimately, you're going to get a resolution requesting a septic replacement.
Mhm.
And when you present that to the seller, are you going to say, all right, here's where we're at?
I think I have to. I mean, I owe it to them, right? I have to explain to them all the facts of where we stand. I know them well enough. They'll probably say what's the right thing to do. And the right thing to do is, figure this out. Because again, if the guy walks and we had to resell it to somebody and maybe we kept his earnest money and all that, we're probably putting in a septic for the next guy. So, but technically they don't even have the right to ask for it. I mean, they're in as-is zone right now. You know where I'm at there, right?
On a septic issue, that's a little different, right? But if you're outside of an inspection window and there's some plumbing leaks or something not quite as big ticket, your buyers are definitely exposed. And I could see a buyer's agent having to write a check to save face, oh, I'll take care of this for you guys. The sellers aren't willing to or something, but I don't know.
Well,
It's not abiding by the contract, right? So
I don't know if it's improved now, but when the honey wagon guy passed away, it was taking longer to get inspections out here. And if it's an agent maybe not familiar with that, suggesting that shorter inspection period, they're kind of screwing their client at the same time as well. But were they able to get that done, scheduled pretty quickly, or was it a last minute thing?
They didn't really rush on anything. It was kind of bizarre. Again, I was in my mind thinking 10 days and I'm like, well, I guess they're going to take it down to the wire. They finally got something set up. But, there is a point during that 7 days. They also could have said, hey, we're having an issue getting Honey Wagon or whoever out there. We're going to need X amount of more days. And obviously we would sign off and comply.
Right.
But bigger picture, buyer's under contract, technically doesn't even have the ability per the contract. I'm not sure he has the ability to ask for a new septic tank. But nonetheless, we'll probably work it out because I think they ran into the right seller. But what if they had a $10,000 deposit up?
Sure. Yeah,
Makes a difference.
Of course, with septics, like you guys both mentioned, you pretty much got to replace it anyways to sell the house. Once it's noted that it's an issue, you pretty much got to do it anyways, which sucks. But if someone will take payment at closing, that can make it a little less painful. So, which I think Apex.
Hey, Lonnie, something that we've done in the past, obviously we're paying attention to our contracts because we're trained better than the agents out there. And when we get into that, and we know when we're having a septic inspection, and we call Apex as our go-to to get out there to take a look at it. They give us great service and can get in usually faster. But if we run up against the clock, you're the first person I'm calling like, hey, we're stuck on this. Everything else is complete on our inspections. We just simply can't get that done. However, it's a major component of the house and we still need to look at it. I have at times, and this may not be the right answer, guys. So this is what Ryan Finn did. I went ahead and put together a resolution of unacceptable conditions with the ability to still take a look at the septic and ask for repairs or replacement should there be a major issue. We would still work that, like basically take that out and say we're still going to work on this, but we're not asking for the laundry list of items. This is the only thing we're talking about here, giving the seller confidence that these guys are moving forward. They couldn't get the septic inspected prior to the date they wanted to, unfortunately, due to other circumstances. And so that's going to be the only other thing we could possibly talk about. And then this is the date that they're going to do it on. So it'll be a clear path at that point. And we've had good luck working with sellers on that point, that sticking point, going, okay, yeah, we can extend the inspection period, or okay, we're looking at your resolution of this is the only thing we're looking at other than the septic. And we keep the deals together.
Makes sense. Cool. So one thing I was thinking about talking about, which I was hoping there'd be a few more people on, most everyone here is pretty familiar with this, but one thing that, Brandy, we hear about at our ALC meetings, typically about the only time we hear about it. And I think overall, a lot of us tend to think that it's Brandy's job to recruit. And I think it's important. And like I said, most of you guys know this, but for those who are newer, it's really an opportunity for all of us to help find new agents, and I think we ought to, and I was trying to think of, we don't want to necessarily look at it as recruiting our agents as much as helping people maybe make changes in their lives. And we've got agents in this office with all kinds of backgrounds. I mean, Ryan was in construction. Laura's done a variety of things. Glinda had a job she hated. She talked to me for probably 2 years about becoming an agent before she got out of she loved the job, but then got a new boss and then hated the job. Sometimes that happens. And then, and then we've got teachers and stuff, which teachers can retire at like 45 or 50 years old. I mean, there's so many people, and maybe they don't want to do 40 deals a year. Maybe they want to do 5. They want just extra vacation money or something. So I just wanted to encourage everyone, like Brandy does at ALC meetings, is, there are frequently opportunities where you can help someone change their lives a little bit, or maybe totally redefine the path of their life if they just wanted to get some more information. And you don't have to know all the right things to say. You just have to say, come talk to Brandy. And so just a thought, we don't have to be doing $200,000 in GCI a year to recruit either. You might be newer and you can still say the potential you have with this business or the community in the office. Share that with someone who's looking for something. I think that's something even myself, I've got out of the habit of the last year or so. And I think that's something that we all need to be more aware of and make it part of our business. So,
Paul, that's a great point. And, the conversation anymore is, instead of really recruiting, is attracting. And, people will be curious as to what you're doing and how you're doing it. And, we really tell our story poorly, giving where we stand in this community. Now, we don't like to brag, and that's not our culture. But at the end of the day, we're doing things. We have a diverse group of people. Like you said, we can help people at so many different levels, from the entry-level agent to the 10 million plus agent, people that are chasing the wealth building dream, people that could give a crap about that. There's just so many different dual career people. We have dual career people making 6 figures, guys. I mean, nothing against Reese Nichols and certainly Crown and whoever else. That's almost never happening. So, but we have a lot to offer, and I think being aware that other people, and if somebody's working at Crown, that's a great little family atmosphere and everything. And that's the tether. They love that. They love what they have there. The reality is the brokerage doesn't make money, doesn't have enough people or transactions to make money, and it only survives because the broker's out listing and selling houses. That is common in our industry right now. So, don't hesitate to talk to the broker owner type people that are kind of flying solo and are kind of running an ego-based business. The tools that we have, by the way, the Canva thing and all the stuff that we're launching right now are just over the top cool, and more coming. I just got done with a regional OP meeting with all the OPs in the greater Heartland. So, we have so many things, and I don't know I don't think we all know about all the tools we have because we don't visit them enough. And then secondly, we just don't tell our story. Our wealth building group, we have 25 to 35 people that are just thinking differently. We don't post out there that we just had a wealth building meeting and we discussed this, and this. But you think agents from other brokerages might really find that really kind of compelling, I guess, as they would. So just, thinking differently, attracting people versus recruiting people is really the big difference maker in that conversation.
Well, and you mentioned Crown or the small offices. I'm sure most of you saw Compass is in the process of acquiring Anywhere, which is a huge organization.
Yeah.
And it may not take place till the middle of the next year, but there's going to be some agents who don't want to be part of Compass, who are in those other companies, or they're going to maybe realize that being part of a corporate structure like that, that's not privately held, isn't always in their best interest, to where we, at least at this time, are privately held. And KW, like I've heard when I first started, KW answers to the agents, not to shareholders. And that's why it's a better environment for a lot of people, I think. So as things change, you might know other agents who are not sure they want to be under that Compass umbrella, assuming that thing goes through. And they might be looking for a different home too. So.
Or Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Better Homes and Garden, all those little, the weird thing about Anywhere, it was really just a placeholder for all these different brands, and they all run different models and everything. There's just a crap ton of agents, I think nearly 300,000 internationally in all those brands combined. We're still the number one brand, standalone brand by far. But, and now Compass says, hey, we're sweeping this into our world. Now, if that goes through, and I sort of hope it does, how will they manage not only their own culture, but all these other cultures? And supposedly they're going to let them stand alone and run their own play, but it'll be interesting to watch. And then, within the publicly traded stock world of real estate, and I have friends at all these companies, so we have a lot of great conversations around it. But the reality is, if you really look at the numbers of these publicly traded companies, Anywhere being one of them, Compass being one of them, and then you can go on down to the XPs, Reels, all the way down to the tiny ones, virtually none of them are profitable. So what are they going to do? Well, they're probably going to try to find another person that's not profitable and create synergy, and maybe they can become profitable. So I think we might be at the early stages of seeing some mergers and things like that. That's obviously large scale, but my guess is we'll see a lot of small scale stuff.
Yes, I think they were talking about how much in a whole Century 21 is. It's crazy. Yeah. Jenny's not making enough sales, it sounds like. But,
Good one, Paul.
But she's probably been getting made fun of too much by KW people.
Ryan Finn's texting her right now.
But I had something come up this past week with that I have not had happen in almost 10 years. And at first I thought it wasn't even allowed, and I discovered otherwise. So my clients are buying a home in Harrisonville, and her dad's a plumber, dad's best buddy's an electrician, so that she, instead of having call and pillar to post or any other inspector they choose, she had plumber come out, check out the plumbing stuff, the electrician come out and check the electrician stuff out. I had Rodney Bennett come out and check out the HVAC for free. I had the roof checked out by a roofer. And then we had the termite inspection because it's a VA buyer. And that was our inspections. They didn't get the attic checked out. They didn't get, other things checked out. But that was what they chose to do, and they didn't have to spend any money to do it. And initially I thought, well, crap, that's not the best thing to do. But I told her, this is what we're missing. But I was wondering if anybody else has had that happen or had that dealt with that kind of thing before.
Eric and I actually just talked about that before we went to bed last night. And I am almost to the point, it might just be easier to have a foundation company, like structural engineer, come check the foundation, have JW with Royal Roofing check the roof, and then, like you said, if they want to grab their own plumber, electrician, whatever individual items that they're concerned about. I happened to come across my buyer. I went over to visit to drop by his birthday present, and he's been my best friend since 4th grade. But he had his own plumber look at the plumbing, and then he says, well, none of the drains actually worked. And I was like, that was your plumber. So it was kind of nice to be able to be like, that's exactly what Lonnie had said on a couple Sold Masterminds ago, about, well, if they pick their own, it's on them. I mean, we suggest, but yeah, so I don't know. I might start kind of asking people if they want to also do that direction, because what I'm finding is that they just tell us have the roof looked at anyways, and then I have to beg JW to get out there like ASAP in the inspection window, and that's what I'm seeing. What else is everybody else seeing?
I like to get a roofer out there and HVAC guy out there. They'll both do it for free, and it's almost always. I mean, the inspector is always going to say have a professional check it out because that's covering their butt. So for me, I always try to do that, but that's usually in conjunction with an inspection, not instead of. Which this one kind of surprised me a little bit, but it's VA buyer with very little money to put down, and Todd's making it work, but it's close on the budget. But yeah, I think we've got roofers who do it for us for free. We've got, and you can do it on a listing or a purchase. I think it'd be worthwhile to eliminate some surprises and get that roofer out there before you even get the house on the market, and make sure there's not an opportunity for a claim.
I think there's another aspect to that, is if you really read the contract, it talks about an independent inspection. If I have the buyer inspecting his own house and he comes up with a bunch of stuff and I submit that, and the listing agent, technically, he would probably go, hey, this really isn't an independent inspection. This is this guy or his dad or whatever. And so technically, if you read the contract, it says independent. I'm not sure that would check the boxes. So we always want to keep that in mind, especially if we're going to be proposing repairs. You may get a listing agent that just wants to make a win-win deal, and it works fine. But at the end of the day, independent is independent.
I thought it was changed to qualified and not independent.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Or maybe it's in
that's
both.
why I'm on this call.
Maybe it's both. I'm
Qualified independent. What is
Yeah.
the term?
I'll look it up. I'm not the
Okay.
quickest.
Somebody has a contract. Yeah.
Lonnie probably has a paper copy of a contract on his desk.
Stop it. Of course I do, but I'm at home.
I thought Nate would have it verbatim remembered. He's
Nate,
smiling like
what's
I
the right
almost have
answer?
it. I don't know it.
So
We've had
yeah,
several.
go ahead.
We've had several want to do that as well. Take the pressure off yourself, guys. Get a part of our consultation for our buyers is a checklist of all the inspections that they could do on their home, possibly. And how qualified is your buyer? Do they work in the trades? Have they built homes? Are they very qualified and apt to be able to look at a house objectively? Or is this the first time they bought a house? They don't know anything. They can't even spell house, right? So it's a difference in buyers out there and what their confidence level is. And then we have them sign the form. There's 15 different inspections you can do on a house. You may not have a pool there. You may not have a fireplace there. So those are things you may not need, but at least they've acknowledged the fact that they know that these are all the things that they can do. And then when you find the house, review that with them and what they want to accomplish with an inspection, and then get them what they need as far as inspections or names so they can start calling people. We can set that up for them if they tell us they want us to do that. We'll do that as well. But again, let them decide what they want to do, and just make sure you've advised them what they can do. And if they want to save money, they can, and advise them what that looks like when they do. And Paul, to your point, we had a young couple that their dad was an engineer, literally an engineer, and he was going to inspect the house. And I let them know what the possibilities were that. And I told them, like, you're going to need to fill out a report if you're going to go through here and you want to submit anything to be repaired. You're going to have a formal report written out and submitted so that we could even ask for it. If you just tell them, hey, this is not right, that's not going to fly with them. And they were okay with that. But the problem with that is we had a 3-hour inspection window, and he spent an hour and 15 minutes on the living room and the kitchen and the entry. He didn't hit the upstairs on a 2-story. He didn't hit the base. We were running out of time quick. I knew he wasn't going to be able to finish. So again, he wasn't prepared because he was trying to help his daughter out and save $500-600. And they quickly realized this. So we had to pull in other inspectors as well to help supplement. It gets really sticky when dad comes in or someone that's uncle comes in or whatever. But yeah, I like the idea, and I'm not sure if we have the term yet, qualified, licensed, whatever, inspector. But man, just make sure you ask them what they want to do and present them with all the inspections that they could do on a property. Take yourself out of the equation with making the decision for them.
Up? I'm sorry. Did anyone pull that contract up yet? By any chance? I asked my TC, and that's what she told me. So I didn't actually look it up. So, anyways, I just want to share that because that was something that I hadn't experienced, except for like on an investment property that was half of it was crap anyway. So that was a little different. But and of course, I know the VA appraiser is going to come in and say a handrail is probably needed on the steps and might have some other issues too, because it's a VA purchase. So has anybody tried any new technology in the last week or two that they haven't used before and maybe discovered something easy, good, new in the process? Lonnie?
Well, of course I have, but I'll defer to others.
You use like a touch tone phone for the first time.
Shut it.
But anybody else?
Better than dial-up.
Who shot a video recently and maybe even had their face in it that they hadn't done for a while? Besides an egg video, you know.
I posted one yesterday at Bold because we had an exercise that we were doing. So I just fired that thing out there from the night before. It was actually the video I put in our private page just to be goofy because it led off from team meeting is the only reason I put it in there. But it seemed like a good opportunity to put it out there. And it was interesting. The people that commented on that thing, because I had a call for action at the end. And it was weird because those are people that never comment on any of my posts. And I was like, who's this guy? But they have chickens. So it was interesting to find out, you know, who those people are in the community. And so it was cool to shoot the video and have that call to action, the specific formula to do it. I think I did it okay. Seemed work.
Independent and qualified in bold. So that's still pretty vague, isn't it? I mean, in my head, that independent and qualified. I don't know. To me, that's general and vague. I don't know. But
property inspections by independent, qualified inspector, which may include but are not limited to, and it just speaks to the different types of inspections.
yeah. I think in the past, if I remember correctly, it may have said licensed, but since home inspectors aren't licensed, at least in Missouri, that kind of went away. But at least that's what I was told. So that's something to keep in mind, independent and qualified, which, you know, who determines if they're qualified?
And it speaks very heavily to the buyer's responsibility. It doesn't say the buyer's agent. It says the buyer's responsibility.
Cool. I like that. So
Independent meaning not involved in the transaction. So my name's not on the line. Independent, but a family member, would that be still independent? I mean, they have their heart in the game, but their money's not on the line. So I guess you could say that keeps them out of the transaction, independent.
yeah, what if it's an ex-stepdad, you know, or something, you know, where is it?
What if Ron Allenball is buying his own house?
Right. So I guess he's qualified, but something on the egg thing with Ryan and I mean, and myself and Shelby, a few of us who have a little bit of a rural lifestyle, or maybe recently did. I wonder if I've used that in the past myself to attract buyers. I talk about how the fact that, you know, we lived in an HOA community in Belton, and, you know, of course, during COVID, everyone wanted to get out of the HOAs. We moved prior to COVID, but I've used that, my own experience, as marketing, I guess, to attract buyers and or sellers. You know, that maybe someone's looking to make a change. They want to get out of that HOA. They want to get out of that close community and want to get out where they have a little space. And I think it's important that if we do things like that, that we share that, you know, this is how we can help you. Or if you live in a golf community or something, you know, maybe you can even share that's something you were able to do and it was great for you. Maybe there's someone else who can relate and is looking for that same thing. So Ryan should be attracting chicken people, you know, and trying to get anyone who currently lives in Peculiar and is not allowed to have chickens in city limits, you know. So
Yep.
just a thought, you know.
Chickens this week, and then we'll be harvesting honey in the next week. So it'll be bees next week. So I'll have my bee suit on. It'll be hilarious.
Nice. Getting goats too.
No goats. Heck
Yeah.
no. You can't build a fence that'll keep goats in. So don't do that. Don't try
They
it.
can limit travel too. Chickens are pretty easy to maintain, or have someone else maintain if you're heading out of town for a few days. But all right. So Shelby, what's going on with you and being the Earth Contact Queen? What challenges are you seeing with that?
Well, I'm prepared. We're gonna do a little staging this time, and I've got to do some curb appeal on the front. So I'm using ChatGPT and with the pictures to try to get some ideas to help with that. And then I'm gonna do a Facebook post because there's one bedroom that they walled it off in the hallway so you can only access it through the garage, and then they took the flooring out. So it would be the perfect room for a drop zone or a workout area or an extra office. So I was going to take a picture of it and just put it out on Facebook and see what people would make that in their own home and then stage it that way. So we'll see. Me and my Earth contacts.
Well, you know, I live in one and right around the corner from those people. So I talked to them here, but they said they had an agent. So I don't know if that was you or not, but that's my neighbors. Damn it, get out of my neighborhood. But just kidding.
Hey, you're on Cleveland. You've got two of them on Cleveland.
Oh, true. I did. So, but
as long as it's Keller Williams signs from
So
our company.
is it did they move out?
No, not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. So yeah, they're gonna be moving to the lake. So
Nice.
yeah, they haven't moved just yet.
So they don't. That's a wonderful kind of buyer. They don't have to buy, right? They've already got a place.
No, they
Oh,
don't.
they don't.
They do have to buy a place.
Oh,
Yep. So yeah, I put him in connection with Angelique Dot from
Cool.
the Ozarks. She is
Cool.
really on top of it. Like I texted her at 9:30 and said, please don't respond back to me. I'm just sending this so I won't forget. And she got back to me first thing and boom, boom, boom. So, and she knows a lot about the like the Airbnb rental down at the Lake of the Ozarks. She doesn't dabble in that just yet, but she's got connections. So if we have any clients that want to embark on that adventure, then she said she could help with that.
Cool.
So yeah, she's really great. So but yeah. So I have a question. We have 29 acres. Frosty and his wife, it was their property off of Y, and it's up for auction. And I don't understand how that works if I don't have a buyer, but if I did have a buyer that wanted that 29 acres, how do I get paid? What do those auctions look like? Why do people pick auctions over just being listed? And then they separated it into 3 different parcels, which is really weird to me. Because they like split the pond by its own individual cells. It's odd. So I don't know anything about that stuff. So, but I'm angry that I'm seeing that sign because I would rather see one of our signs, not auction. So I'm a little bitter about it.
Are you talking about the
House right across.
the Ferrari's property by the church, 215th?
Yeah, I didn't even know the last name. It was just Frosty. He just used to come over and visit all the time in his minivan.
Well, the Ferraris owned the Peculiar RV park.
Yes.
And so yeah, I've seen that sign. So sorry, this is the Y Highway double Y conversation. We're
You guys.
Yeah. So, but
Sandy's seeing it too. It's not fun. But
all right. So anyway, so who went to Bold yesterday and has good stuff to say or bad stuff to say about that? Just kidding, no bad. Yeah, anyone
Who's the
first time bull?
company on that, Shelby?
Yeah, we need to jump on Shelby's question. Nate, can you
Oh,
jump
sorry.
on the auction, being the auction guy? I
Sorry.
don't have a in that.
Yeah, obviously I've done all types of auctions, and all auctions are not created equal. So, do you know who's doing the auction?
Oh, is it something land? What was it called?
Let me look it up. I swear it said West Central, but let me look.
Might have been. I think it's West Central. You're right.
So typically West Central Auction, they have, you go on there and you'll see that there's a 10% buyer's premium, and you have to register as an agent, you have to register your buyer. And so if the purchase price is 100,000, the buyer ends up paying 110,000, and you would get your 3% from that buyer's premium on that scenario. Typically, that's how West Central does it. So I'm not sure, I'm not finding it, but typically there's a rules for every auction. There's a rule sheet for every auction that you're going to see.
Ooh. I found their auction. Well, they're selling a lot of stuff too. Golf carts, but
Ferrari Estate Auction I see on there.
that's the one.
Home
There's
in
no
29 acres, North County. Okay, so it's the home in 29 acres. I see the way that they've parceled it off, which is strange. But if you go to that, you'll see broker participation as a link, and it brings up where you have to register yourself, and then there'll be a PDF that you ultimately have to submit to them, where you're telling them who your buyer is and all that. So, but there's always a 10%. Typically, it's 10%. I've seen here's a term sheet right underneath where it says broker participation, where it says auction info. If you hit terms, I'm reading through it right here. Special instructions, seller provide a warranty deed. Buyer's premium, a 10% buyer's premium will be added to your final bid to equal the contract price. If you don't close, you'll be charged $2,500 on the credit card. And I've registered these auctions with my credit card just to get it done before. So probably not the wisest move, but
A little risk there.
that's how you do that auction. So
yeah. Nate, something I looked at on that particular parcel being 29 acres and how they did the pond, it looks like they're flexing it to where the pond can stay with the homestead or go with the just the raw land, as what I think they're trying to accomplish by doing it that way, where there's an opportunity for it to go either way. I'm not 100% certain, but I glanced at that a couple days ago, and like
the strategy that I see there is whoever buys parcel 1 or whoever buys parcel 2, they have a captive audience willing to bid more than somebody else. I would expect. I agree with that statement. Yeah, but you know what you're bidding on, and you got to set your limits, because it's very easy to not respect limits in an auction environment. I did a deal with West Central Auction. It's probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and we were the winning bidders, but my clients chose to be there, and they did not respect the budget we went in there with. And it's like they were happy they got it, so I was like, okay, but it's just a different experience. It's a different environment, and it's very quick. It typically gets settled that day, and that's the attractiveness versus listing it on the open market and seeing it sit there for 6 months from a seller's perspective.
Hey, if you're not familiar with the property, the parcel with the house, it's got a detached garage that has an apartment in it. It's got a greenhouse and a shop out back. It's quite a bit there that somebody could get for a good deal. And the house actually looks more updated than I expected when I just saw the pictures online.
And just like eBay, you'll see a lot of these auctions have reserve prices. So if nobody shows up to bid and you bid, $1 over opening bid or whatever, that does not necessarily mean that you're going to be the winning bidder if the reserve price is not met.
Nate, do they announce what the reserve is on that to get started, or is it?
No, typically they don't, but there will be a point in the auction on reserve auctions where if you're close to the reserve, the auctioneer will come up and say, hey, we've gone ahead and lifted the reserve. We're not there yet, but the sellers decide to move, go ahead and sell. So they'll lift the reserve, and they will announce that. But typically, they do not say our reserve is 250 grand.
Right.
You know, one way that could be interpreted is, oh, the opening bid is 250. Well, no, that doesn't mean anything. They're trying to attract as many people to the auction as possible.
It breaks down the auction effect when you announce that. So that makes sense for them to kind of keep that. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I saw they've got it. Is it listed for 400,000?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. And so I had a client reach out on that and I'm like, yeah, easy, soldier. It's going to go well above that. So with that much land.
Was it 400,000 for all of it, or just for the house?
That's what I saw is 400,000. And I don't know if the attachment of the 29 acres was on it, is what I saw. But again, it's parceled out. So it's gonna go for well more than 400.
Cool. It's a nice property. I mean, it's got potential for all kinds of stuff there. So, but
How do we, if we come across a seller and that is one of their objections, how do we beat them out so that they don't wipe out our listing? Do we have proof that our funds that we would get for them is higher than what it would go for an auction? Are there stats on that?
I would assume they're going to auction for convenience more than anything. I mean, like this was an inherited home.
Yeah.
Is that what, Nate, is that what you see? Usually auctions are for convenience, not for more money.
I've seen auctions sell for more than I think the market would bring, to be honest.
Really?
You know?
Okay.
But yes, it's a very finite experience typically, meaning I know that this property is going to get sold on 10/14/2025. I'm going to have everything done. So yes, there is a convenience aspect to that as well. These auctioneers in West Central in particular will definitely try and say that they can net as much, if not more, than the open market through their sphere of contacts, through whatever people they bring to the auction. But no, I don't know of any stats talking about auction versus traditional market, other than basic economics say that if you have an offering to the whole market, typically that price would be a greater number than like 10 people who show up on October 14th.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know in this case that there's multiple family members and cousins and stuff who all kind of have a stake in the situation. So I would assume the auction was the easier option.
At least resistance.
So I don't think everybody gets along, at least with the early conversations when they passed away. But so cool. So anyone else have anything to get a little help with or anything today?
Hey, Paul, I got on Chat GPT for you because I know you would love that. And I asked the question just to see what the heck would come back. And it talked about as far as auction pricing versus selling with a realtor. And typically distressed properties would do better in an auction scenario because there's opportunity there. And so that's where your flippers and things like that versus a home that's staged properly and up, it has been maintained over the years is better to be listed and on the market would bring more money. So that's just a generic quick version of what it says. And of course, there's more to it, but and you can see that with the distressed property and you show up, hey, there's an opportunity, but then you get, your client comes to the party and they're like, I want this property, and then they blow 50,000 past where they should have just because they get emotional about it. And then that's where you get the extra money.
So even with chat, you could go on there and say a specific area or maybe it's properties of 5 acres or more. You could be throw in more details and it might vary quite a bit versus others. But good job using Chat GPT. So I want to throw in another Chat GPT use that I did the other day just because I thought of it. So as I'm getting older, as a lot of us are getting older, hopefully not stopping getting older, and we maybe are trying to do things to take better care of our health. So I take about 10 pills a day, if not more some days, and I kind of half guessing what I should take. So I took pictures of all the ingredients of all these things, put them in Chat GPT and said, what am I missing? What am I getting too much of? Is there something I should do differently? And when's the best time to take these things? Because I don't know. So it gave me some great information. Told me I was inadvertently doubling up on like some vitamin B. I was taking way too much of one thing because it was in multiple pills and different things like that. So just want to throw out a non-real estate use of that technology that could maybe be beneficial for you. So just thought I'd throw that out there. So
Hey,
Paul,
Paul, that's great. That's great you brought that up for aging parents and all the stuff that they're taking. I have no idea what the crap it is. And so I'm going to actually thank you for that tip. I'm going to try that and see if that is something I can sort out some of the supplements for family.
could even ask it for any adverse interactions that could say that if they're taking these prescriptions, would any of these supplements potentially have a problem? Of course, it's going to tell you I'm not a doctor, but this is what I found, but so just a thought. So, but
Tough.
Paul, you'll appreciate yesterday in the OP meeting. So we've got 27 market centers in the Midwest, and about 20 of the OPs were there. But as we did different mastermind topics and things like that, ChatGPT was kind of one of the anchors we used to see what, plug it into ChatGPT, see what they say, that sort of thing. So it was kind of fun. You would have enjoyed it. Sometimes you get kind of a boilerplate answer that's just kind of generic, but also, some of it gave some good insights. We plugged in numbers like ratios and, list to sell ratios and all kinds of unique things, average commission per deal, all that stuff. And it's like, okay, where's our room for improvement? And it would spit out some different ideas, some of which were pretty obvious, but some were, caused us to kind of drill down deeper.
sure. Yeah, there is, what you can do with it is just crazy. I'm meeting with Josh and Ashley, my daughter, sometime this afternoon. Josh is actually here at the house somewhere, but we're meeting and we're going to talk about some stuff. And I had told it what I wanted to talk about, and it gave me an agenda that I sent to both kids last night. I said, hey, this is some of the stuff I want to address tomorrow, because believe it or not, ADHD Josh and Paul don't always stay on topic very well. And fortunately, my daughter, she did her little KPA, and it said one of her top skills would be director of operations, which that's what we need. So someone to implement all the 50,000 thoughts we have on a regular basis that don't get implemented. So, and I think a lot of us are guilty of having all these ideas, trying to chase things down instead of trying to focus on one thing. God, that sounds like a book title. Focus on one or two specific things with more attention and more focus to really get things done, instead of a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And it's like a buffet. You get a little bit of everything, but not a lot of anything that gets accomplished. And so ChatGPT can help you focus on stuff too. But all right. I really didn't come with a lot of topics. I thought people might have good questions. So, and we've had some good ones. Anybody else have something going on? Josh on here still? Josh, you need a list. I know you got a buyer need in Belton. You want to share that? Anyone else have buyer needs that are getting kind of critical?
Yeah, one. I've got a 5-bedroom, 3-bath in Belton, just south of about 5 miles south. It's in between Mullen and Y off of 211th on Oak Drive. Really, really nice home, 610. Great couple that's lived there. They've done everything top notch. Just great place.
Built by a local builder, Danny Putnam, if you know Danny.
That's right. Yeah, and so they needed a window replaced, and the ones that he used back when he built that thing is like an hour and a half away, and he drove there as a neighbor and a builder. He drove there to get window replacement and install that for them at no charge. He just did it for them, and that's the kind of pride he put in the building of that thing.
He's my client though. Stay away. So, but so see, now David's moving into our neighborhood. Shelby, we need to kick him out. No, he's getting close. So, All right. So guys, I don't really have any other topics. I would love if you have any questions or anything, or have something coming up, please share. And let us help you out if you have any concerns or questions.
Hey, Paul, I'll jump in for just a second on
Go for
our fall harvest party coming up. Want to kind of kick that back out there again. Get your client list out today. That's on my agenda. I'm going to start ringing our clients and giving them a phone call with probably a lot of voicemails will get dropped, but let them know what's coming. And then we'll start sending out text messages and getting RSVPs for that. So again, don't wait 2 weeks to do this. And then we're in the middle of October and the party's only a couple of weeks out, and you're trying to get somebody with tight time frames, you know, on a Saturday night to a party. It's going to be very difficult, is what I'm saying. So now is the time, as the clock's always ticking, to reach out to your top 10, top 15 people that you'd love to see and network with. And if you were at Bold yesterday, obviously we're going to be asking for referrals. We're always asking for referrals. These are people that are always calling you anyway, and like, I just don't talk enough business with you, because I know you know people that are buying and selling houses, and I just need to know, who do I need to talk to? And it's amazing what happens. I think we had close to 80 referrals in 25 minutes in the Bold room yesterday, just because people were texting. Mostly texting is what I saw in that room, but the ones that were hitting home runs were on the phones. But it works both ways. If you like to text, do that too. But get with your people. Get the flyer. I think that got made. You can send that out via text, so they can at least see the information as well versus just hearing it, and then see and then see if they can make it to your party or not, because it's a great opportunity for a great price at $10 a person. You can't beat it.
All right. So since you brought it up, I was talking with our coach the other day about the best way to invite clients to this. So of course we used ChatGPT. So it gave me an email invite, and then the strategy we're using is going to send this email. Hopefully my daughter will. And then we will text them, say, hey, did you see my email? Just give me a response when you get a chance. And then follow up within a week if we don't hear anything. So let me tell you the email it's suggested and the mindset behind it. So it's like, hey, whatever. Josh and I want to invite you to our Autumn Harvest Client Appreciation event on Friday, November 1st. And it has the details. The evening is all about showing our appreciation for your business, your friendship, and your support over the years. Expect live music and barbecue dinner, and expect live music, a barbecue dinner, and a fireside lounge. It'll be a great night to relax and enjoy. We've already covered your tickets. All we need to know is how many spots to reserve for you. Seating is limited, so please RSVP as soon as possible. And that was one thing. And then it also, my coach had us rewrite it, where it mentioned a little bit about we're able to do this because of people like you sending us business. If you can think of anyone who needs us, feel free to, we'd love to help them out or something like that. So,
Hey, Paul, it's on Saturday night, not Friday night.
yeah, I probably just misread it. So,
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Good call, Joanna.
yeah, good catch. Yeah. So yeah, I'll correct that. So thank you. But
I'll fix that before I send that out for him.
Oh, and my daughter's on here. So no, that was just then it even gave us a script to use on the text to follow up. And if you don't know what to say, get some help. It's free. You're $20 a month if you pay for it. But so
Hey, Paul, congratulations on that. As I'm listening, I'm just, that's running a business like a business. That's saying, here's an event that has basically been teed up for me, and I'm going to leverage it, and I'm going to get value out of it. That is fantastic. I hope that mindset can permeate through our organization. I don't expect 125 people will do the same, but if 25 or 35 do that, that'll be really exciting to see them get value out of that. And again, it isn't the number. It is not the number of people that are there. Sure, it'd be great to have a bunch of people there. There is huge value in the invite. Just what you stated right there. If I received that from you, I'm flattered. I'm flattered that you would send this to me, that you would spend the money to invite me and my spouse or family or to this kind of event. So no, I can't go, Paul. We're going to be in Cleveland, but thank you so much. Again, the value is in the invitation.
And our coach may have pulled, go ahead.
I was just, and I put it on our Facebook page today. if there would be any way that that could be, wait, hold on. No, Zia, don't do that. Don't do that. If there could be any way that we could get that on a smart plan, just the flyer, just because if I did start emailing it out to people individually, but it'd be great if we could, hit all of our clients and send it out and then follow up with another thing. I'm not sure how to make a smart plan and upload a flyer there. So if it could be there, that would be awesome.
I think Brandy did plan to get that done, or probably Caesar was gonna do that, I believe. And then you can customize the flyer so it, doesn't say let Brandy know. You can have it where it says, contact you. They've got a Canva
Right.
link for that if you haven't seen that.
Yeah. And like I said, I already did that and changed it.
Great.
Hey, Joanna,
There's-
quick question.
Yeah.
Because you know Morningside really well.
Morning View.
I have a listing in there. And can people have a fence in there, even though it's maintenance provided?
Yes, they can.
And if they do that, do they then have to maintain their own backyard, or what's that look like?
No, they'll come in and do their yard.
Okay, good to know. By the way, just for you guys, in case you're in maintenance provided communities, many of them do not permit fences because it's more difficult for their people to get in and out of there.
Right.
Or if they do permit them, that area becomes your area to maintain. So I know a couple areas that we've sold houses and that is exactly what it is. Sure, you can have a fence, but now it's your baby kind of thing.
Yeah, and you also may have to have a gate of a certain width to allow the bigger mowers in. So,
Right.
and I think they're vinyl fences is all I've really noticed in there. So the white vinyl. But
Got it. Thank
There's
you,
some
guys.
chain
Some
link
black-
fences too.
Are there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, guys. That helps me. That's another reason I was on this call. And now I don't have to go search through covenants and restrictions.
Cool. All right. Anybody else got anything? Otherwise, we'll get out of here a couple minutes early.
Somebody-
Couple things.
Oh, go ahead.
Um,
Trunk or
I think
treat.
Stacy had a question on the trunk or treat. Does anybody have anything on the trunk or treat?
24th, I think. That's all I know.
Okay. Do we know?
50
Part of the
bucks for
committee.
$50 to participate.
Mhm.
We need more vendors.
And
I have-
about $250 of candy.
Nice.
Okay. kidding.
It's a lot.
I have people that are more likely to come to that than the Fall Fest thing. I might have a conflict with that. So I wanted, and it's coming up so quick. So I was hoping we'd have some branded stuff or something. Or do you guys typically make your own stuff? Or I don't know what time it is. And I don't know who's in charge of it.
Is that Stephanie, Ryan?
Are you talking the trunk or treat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Your friend Annette Middleton.
Ah, well, then I will bug
Okay.
her.
All right. Yeah. Hook us up with some more info on that. I know, yeah, it is coming up quick. And that's a pretty, straightforward event. We get out here and like I said, it's $50 and you dress up, whatever you want to do. And then we've got some vendors coming in. I'm not sure who's doing somebody's doing the hot dogs, I think, is donating that. And then I'm not sure what else we have as far as people that are going to be sponsoring that. But we do have more, but it's pretty straightforward. Usually it's right around 5 p.m. So don't hold me to that, but that's usually it's daylight. It's not dark with these kids running around. We want it fairly light outside, so everybody can see them and no one gets injured out here. So that's one of the things. We've got lights as well. So, so it'll be late afternoon into just the very early portion of the evening and wrap up usually at dusk. And we're rolling up tents at that point and headed to happy hour or wherever you go.
Yeah, it is on a Friday, so there will be some football games and other stuff that are interfering with it probably as well.
Yep. And one last thing, Paul, too, on the fall harvest, I will say, hey, we're able to do this, and I want to give credit to our ALC and our leadership, not me, other leadership, on getting sponsors. Last I checked, we're at $6,500 have been donated for this party, which offsets the cost of the food, which is, I think, $24 a head for this barbecue. And so everything else that goes into it and the location is being taken care of by a lot of our vendors that have been taking care of us this year. And we want to make sure we give thanks to them, and we will at that party. But if you have other vendors that you have been supporting all year in your business and you want to give them a sponsorship opportunity, think about it. Sponsorships are as low as $250 and they work all the way up. I think we got one left at $2,500, but It's been great so far, but we definitely would not turn away another sponsor. I think if we can get to that $9,000 or $10,000 of sponsorships, this thing's going to be a home run. It'll be a great fundraiser for our Southland partners. So be good.
Awesome. Have a good day, everybody.
Great
Thanks, Paul.
call. Bye, guys.
Sell something.
Thank you.